So I'm joined here at the weigh-in for Hamza Shearer's Liam Williams. The man, Mark Tibbs. How are you, my friend? How are you?
Lovely to see you again. It's been a long while, but remember that lovely, distinctive voice of yours.
I interviewed you on Johnny Fletcher's pro debut. That was his pro, and this is his Tommy Fletcher. Johnny Fletcher, Tommy Fletcher. See, they're so similar, Johnny and Tommy. I get mixed up between the two. But Tommy Fletcher, I remember distinctly you said, hardest puncher you've ever had on the pads. You still stand by that?
Absolutely. He's punching even harder. I've been away for him for a couple of weeks. My dad's been managing him and his sessions, and come back, sharpening him up a couple of sessions, and he's punching harder. Very, very hard puncher. Very hard puncher.
He's gone a bit under the radar, hasn't he? Like I think a lot of people don't really. He'd be a name that would kind of slip a lot of people's minds when they look at some of the guys you have in the stable. The likes of Johnny Fisher, who's normally at the forefront of people's minds. They're on a similar path in their pro careers. But do you think that it's good that he's not maybe at the forefront of people's minds, because it just means you have the chance to just work with him, no pressure, and you can develop that power even further? Because he is only, 22?
Yeah, he's 21, I believe. He could be 22. Excuse me for that. But he's listen, it's his seventh professional fight, so they should start moving him on this year, towards the end of this year. He's start pushing him on a little bit, but listen, he's only a young lad, he's not fully developed, but can you imagine that power when he's thickened out a little bit more? So listen, he's in a development process, and he's come along really, really nice. He's sparring, he's had some really, really good sparring in and around, up and down the country. Been up to Sheffield, his last spar was, and he's ticking all the boxes. He's doing really, really well, and I'm really happy with Tommy Fletcher's development.
It's been good seeing the way your stables come around, because only last week you were out there in Vegas with Johnny Fisher. The names are so similar. You were out there with Johnny Fisher. I almost called him Fletcher. It's looking good. The stable is looking good. You've got a lot of young Johnny Hedges. You've got a lot of up and coming fighters now in there, and it must be just for you as a coach to have these guys at the start of their career, almost kind of reinvigorating for you as a coach, just to think where they can be in a few years.
It really is. I get a lot of pleasure out of watching their progression and growth. And when I left them for 3 weeks, I left them with my dad and Kevin Reynolds, who's part of our gym at the Origin, and who else did I leave with? My dad, Kevin Reynolds, and the couple of other people there was looking after them. But when I come back, I don't like leaving my fighters with other people, because I know when my food's been played with, I just know, I smell and I see differences. But my dad was in charge, and I come back and I watched them, and they're all in a good place. So I'm happy where they are, and it's great to see. And my dad was really enjoyed it as well, because he hasn't really been around them for that long. He dips in and out of the gym, but he kept his eye on them for me, and he said, him himself, he said it's lovely how they're all turning into fine young men, and how they're growing as fighters, in their areas.
It's great to see the new generation.
Let me talk about the new kid, Giorgio Vizioli.
I've seen him.
He's had his 2 fights in Dublin. One in Dublin, and one in Belfast. Great boxer. When he first came to me, he said, "Mark, I'm a boxer, not a puncher." And I was taken back by it, because I've trained him a couple of times. I said, "Son, you can punch." And he just knocked his first one out in the first round, his second one out in the third round. So he's good timing and distance, though. He's a very good fighter. Giorgio Vizioli. Look out for him.
So it's an exciting few years in your gym then, by all accounts, by the looks of things. Do you prefer, I know obviously you want to get the big names. Every trainer would love to have a Floyd Mayweather, but it's something different just being able to say, look, I brought him from his first fight to world title honours. That's got to be different.
No, he's very, it's my dad done it with Billy Joe Saunders, see, and I was on that journey with him. So, that's Giorgio Vizioli. I put him alongside a Billy Joe Saunders. Really do. I really do. Yeah, he is strong. He's strong. He's strong for a 20-year-old kid. He's a strong man as well. Very clever.
That obviously bodes well for the future.
Joel Bartel, he's fighting on the 24th of February at York Hall. another good fighter, middleweight, strong, puncher with both hands, and good kid. He's 22 years of age, and he'll be pushing on soon for titles. Yeah. So all my fighters, apart from Giorgio, he's just started. They'll all be pushing on for titles. I've got a very good southpaw that's getting more offensive. Finley James is very, very good. He's a lightweight. John Hedges is fighting Saturday.
He is.
The Indigo.
That's his first fight at Cruiser, isn't it?
First fight at Cruiser. Listen, marvellous boxer, come fighter, puncher. He's got stronger. He's maturing. Very slick. Southpaw, 6'7", and as you just mentioned, Tommy Fletcher, he's fighting at the Copper Box. So I've got 2 on one night.
2 on one night. That's going to be well, we're not that far from either, so geographically it's not that bad. In terms of just boxing as a whole, obviously last week we got the news that I don't think any of us wanted, that Usyk Fury has been pushed back. Surely in your time as a trainer, you've had fights where you've trained your fighter, you've got ready, and then there's been a pull-out or a pushback. Mentally, what do you think must be going on in Usyk's mind?
Well, it's a sickener. It is a sickener for everyone involved, including the production teams, television companies, the agents, the managers, the matchmakers, even the doctors. It's a sickener for everyone, especially at an event of that magnitude, because everyone's looking forward to it. But it's genuine, and it happens. I've been involved in situations when fights have been cancelled because of cuts, and I think Billy Joe Saunders actually. We was training in Spain, and something happened. The fight got postponed. He come back to London. I stayed in Spain. My dad took him back to London, and I think he ended up getting cut in sparring as well, and it had to be postponed. He was fighting Andy Lee at the time. I think he got moved from. Over there in Ireland somewhere.
Limerick, yeah.
Limerick, that's right, and got moved to Manchester, which worked in our favour in the end.
Timing is everything. Who does that favour though? Like if you look at that objectively, February 17th would have been this day week. We would have been at the weigh-in.
Yeah.
Moving that forward by 3 months, does it favour Fury, who maybe gives him an extra 3 months to make sure his preparation is right, or Usyk, who maybe peaked and now has to try and peak again?
Let me tell you something. It's a blow for everyone. Yeah, everyone has to simmer down and start again. You know what I mean? Taper off and start again. And that's just the way it is. These guys are at the top of their game. They'll know what to do. Although they'll be gutted, and a lot of money's been put into their camps. I can only imagine, and all of that. But shit happens, and it's happened to each and every trainer in the business in a smaller scale, but it's still a sickener nevertheless, you know what I mean? Yeah.
For everyone involved.
For everyone.
Well, Mark, it's been an absolute pleasure. Best of luck to both your fighters the weekend. I'll definitely be tuning in to Tommy, and pleasure as always. Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.